You know, most people go through life believing that anger is something others cause in them. A rude comment, a disrespectful tone, a dismissive attitude, and suddenly the entire nervous system reacts like it has been attacked. But here's the truth, nobody teaches us. People don't make you angry. They reveal the anger already living inside you. And once you understand this, you unlock a kind of inner freedom that almost feels unfair because suddenly no one has power over your mood, your peace, or your mental state. Imagine walking through the world completely unbothered, not numb, not passive, but untouchable, because you have mastered the art of not absorbing other people's unconsciousness. Most people react because they're asleep. They take everything personally. They assume every disrespect is a reflection of their worth. They assume every inconvenience is an attack. But when you wake up, truly wake up, you see something completely different. People are not behaving at you. They're behaving from their own pain, their own patterns, their own unresolved chaos. And once you see that, anger stops being your reaction. It becomes your signal, the place where you learn, grow, and detach. Today, we're going to explore exactly how to reach that state. A state where anger no longer controls you, and where nobody, not strangers, not co-workers, not even family, can disturb your inner peace. Most people grow up believing anger is something the world forces on them. He made me mad. She pissed me off. They ruined my mood. But the truth is much simpler and much harder to accept. Nobody can inject anger into you. They can only poke the places where anger already lives. Imagine two people receiving the same insult. One laughs it off, the other reacts like it's war. What's the difference? Not the insult, not the situation, but the internal landscape they're carrying. When you get triggered, you're not reacting to the moment itself. You're reacting to old insecurities, unresolved feelings, past experiences, unhealed patterns, hidden expectations, and the need to be seen, respected, validated, or understood. Someone's comment didn't create your anger, it uncovered it. And once you understand that, something powerful happens. You stop trying to control people and you start learning to control yourself. You stop feeling like a victim of your environment and you start becoming the manager of your emotional world. This is the foundation of being calm, steady, and untouchable. The realization that the storm is internal, and therefore, so is the solution. If you want to become unbothered, here's a rule to tattoo onto your mindset. People don't act toward you, they act from themselves. A person with respect treats everyone respectfully. A person filled with bitterness spreads bitterness everywhere. A jealous person looks threatened by everyone. An insecure person feels offended by almost anything. Their behavior is a reflection of what's happening inside them, not you. But when you take things personally, you interpret their behavior as, "I'm not good enough. They're attacking me. I must have done something wrong. I'm being disrespected, or I need to react or defend myself." When in reality, their behavior has nothing to do with you and everything to do with their upbringing, stress, worldview, insecurities, and emotional habits. Once this becomes clear, people stop having access to your emotions. Insults don't land, irritation doesn't stick, disrespect stops feeling personal. You begin to see behavior as data, not danger. If someone is rude, they're overwhelmed. If someone is dismissive, they feel small. If someone is aggressive, they're scared of losing something. If someone is passive-aggressive, they don't know how to communicate. None of it says anything about you. And when you stop internalizing people's behavior, your emotional world becomes lighter, calmer, and far harder to shake. Before every outburst, before every snappy reply, before every rush of irritation, there is a split-second moment, a tiny gap. Most people are blind to it. They move from trigger to reaction like a reflex. But the key to becoming emotionally strong lies in that tiny space. Awareness lives there. Control lives there. Peace lives there. When someone says something that hits a nerve, pause just for 1 second, then 2, then 3. Watch what's happening inside you as if you're observing another person. I feel heat rising. I feel tightness. I feel the impulse to defend myself. I feel the urge to react. The moment you begin watching your emotion, you stop being the emotion. The anger no longer drives you, you're watching it, analyzing it, noticing it. And this is the magic. An emotion you observe loses its power. Anger only grows when you fuel it. Awareness starves it. When you stretch that pause, you shift from automatic reactions to intentional responses. You don't get dragged into someone's mood. You don't mirror their negativity. You don't match their energy. You stay grounded, composed, and in control. That's how you become someone who cannot be easily rattled, not because life becomes easier, but because you stop surrendering your peace to every challenge. One of the biggest reasons people get angry so easily is because they mix their internal world with other people's behavior. Someone's tone becomes your stress. Someone's mood becomes your irritation. Someone's comment becomes your insecurity. But emotionally strong people master something essential. Emotional separation. What's theirs is theirs, what's yours is yours, and you stop blurring the lines. If someone is yelling, that's their lack of control. If someone is rude, that's their communication problem. If someone is passive-aggressive, that's their avoidance pattern. None of that is your responsibility. You don't have to react. You don't have to match their energy. You don't have to fix the atmosphere every time someone walks in upset. You simply tell yourself, this is their emotion. I don't have to participate. When you master emotional separation, you stop letting other people's storms pull you in. You stay in your lane, in your center, in your power, and that alone removes thousands of unnecessary moments of anger and irritation from your life. Here's something most people never realize. Anything you pay emotional attention to grows. Anything you ignore dies. If someone tries to provoke you and you react, you reward their behavior. If someone pushes your buttons and you explode, you confirm they have power over you. If someone tries to get a reaction and you give it, they've already won. This is why emotionally calm people avoid feeding nonsense. They never argue with people who just want to fight. They don't explain themselves to people committed to misunderstanding them. They don't defend their character to people who don't value it. They don't pour energy into conversations that lead nowhere. Because they know the rule. What you react to, you reinforce. What you ignore, you weaken. Imagine how many conflicts would end instantly if you didn't fuel them with your anger, your attention, or your emotional energy. Not reacting isn't weakness. It's choosing peace over pointless battles, maturity over ego, and strategy over impulse. And once you master the art of not feeding what bothers you, your life becomes drastically quieter and drastically calmer. Most people have no emotional filter. Anything anyone says goes straight into their mind. Every comment hits them directly. Every opinion becomes a threat. Every criticism feels like a wound. But if you want to become unshakable, you need a filter, a mental layer between you and the world that asks, is this worth my energy? Does this deserve a reaction? Will this matter tomorrow? Is this comment coming from someone I respect? Does this reflect reality or their insecurity? Is this feedback or just noise? Is this a crisis or just someone being dramatic? Most anger disappears when you stop letting every small thing enter your mind unexamined. You start noticing how much is not your problem, not your fault, not your responsibility, and not even about you. Your filter protects your peace protects your mind, and a protected mind doesn't get dragged into every emotional trap people set. Here's a mindset shift that will change everything. Annoyance isn't a weakness, it's data. Every time something bothers you, it's revealing one of three things: a boundary that needs to be set, a standard that needs to be raised, or a wound that needs attention. If someone repeatedly crosses a line and you feel irritation, that's your signal a boundary is overdue. If certain behaviors consistently bother you, maybe you've tolerated too much for too long. If something tiny triggers a big reaction, the reaction isn't about the moment, it's about a deeper pattern. Once you begin seeing your irritation as information rather than an attack, everything changes. Anger stops being something you fight, it becomes something you learn from. And when you learn from it, you grow past it. Most people repeat the same emotional reactions for decades because they never stop to ask, what is this trying to tell me? When you start asking that, your emotional intelligence expands, your reactions shrink, and life stops feeling so heavy. This is how you transform irritation into insight and anger into emotional maturity. Let's be honest, Some people are simply difficult. They talk aggressively. They start arguments for fun. They misunderstand everything. They twist your words. They drain your energy without trying. And if you're not careful, these people can pull you into their chaos. But here's the key. Your peace is not a group project. It's your responsibility. You stay calm around difficult people by remembering 3 things. Their reaction is not your responsibility. You only control how you communicate. You don't have to match their energy. You become stronger by staying collected, not louder. And silence is a strategy. You don't have to respond to every accusation, insult, or provocation. Difficult people feed off reactions. Your calmness starves the entire system. When you remain steady, their power dissolves. You stop being a target they can push around. You become a wall they can't move. Some people try to control you not with authority, but with emotion. They guilt trip, blame, manipulate, twist, and make you feel responsible for their feelings. They rely on your emotional reaction to keep control. But the moment you stop reacting, they lose all leverage. High control people thrive on your guilt, your frustration, your defensiveness, your explanations, your urge to fix things, and your fear of disappointing them. Once you remove emotional fuel, their tactics collapse. You stop feeling guilty. You stop explaining yourself. You stop trying to win their approval. You stop engaging in circular arguments. You stop being manipulated by tone and pressure. You detach, and suddenly, they don't know what to do with you. Manipulation only works on people who react. The moment you become unreactive, the dynamic ends not with a fight, but with indifference. Emotionally strong people aren't cold. They're simply not emotionally accessible to everyone. They choose who gets access to their peace, and that's exactly why difficult or controlling people can no longer affect them. Here's the truth most people never realize. Life doesn't get easier. People don't get nicer. The world doesn't suddenly become more considerate. You simply get stronger, calmer, harder to shake, and harder to trigger. You stop taking things personally. You stop letting people dictate your emotions. You stop giving away your peace like it's free. And that's when you finally understand something powerful. Nobody has the ability to ruin your day unless you hand them that ability. The moment you stop reacting, your life becomes clearer. The moment you stop absorbing everything, your mind becomes lighter. The moment you stop trying to control people, you regain control of yourself. So the next time someone tries to provoke you, push your buttons, or pull you into their chaos, pause, breathe. Remember, their behavior is not your responsibility. Protect your peace like it's your most valuable asset, because it is. And if you want more content that helps you stay calm, confident, and emotionally unshakable, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and stay connected. Because this journey toward emotional strength is just beginning, and you're not doing it alone.